Hello and welcome to the Funding and Financial Support webinar. My name's Tammy Lane. I'm the Head of Admissions and Marketing at Brooklands Technical College. So thank you for joining. This evening, we're going to go through what financial support is available, free school meals at college, how to apply for the bursary, and then funding and fee remission for our adult courses. At the end, there'll be time for a Q&A. So if you have a question throughout, please pop it in the chat. My colleague Chloe will be then sending them to me at the end. If I haven't covered them during the webinar, then we'll cover them at the end. But if you have a question that comes to mind, just pop it in as we go along. If I answer it, great. If I don't, then we'll cover it at the end. So we'll start off with the two types of bursary, 16 to 19 bursary fund that are available. So there's the bursary for students in vulnerable groups and the discretionary bursary. So to be eligible, you must be at least 16 and under 19 on the 31st of August of the year you begin your course. You must study at a publicly funded college or be on an unpaid training course. You must also meet the residency requirements, and the college will check this upon application. So we'll start with the Vulnerable Young Person VYP bursary. So you, as the student, may be eligible for this type of bursary if at least one of the following applies to you. Now, I know that a lot of parents, guardians, carers may be applying for the bursary on behalf of the young person, but as I go through this, please know that it means you as the student, so it needs to be in the student's name. So you're in or recently have left local authority care, you'd be eligible. You get income support or universal credit in your own name as the student because you're financially supporting yourself. You get disability living allowance in your own name and either employment and support allowance or universal credit in your own name. Or you get personal independence payment in your own name as the student and either ESA or universal credit in your own name. So the college for the VYP bursary can claim up to £1,200 from the VYP bursary. So this amount depends on the cost that you have and what you need for your course. So it's not necessarily a lump sum of £1,200. It's dependent on the individual need. So that's for books, equipment, travel costs, and this varies. So you may not get a total sum of £1,200 for the year. It will depend on what you need. And if this amount required exceeds the £1,200, say if you're traveling from quite far away, the total cost for train travel for that academic year is more than £1,200, we can use the discretionary bursary to top this up on an individual circumstance. So we would look at this case by case. The second one is our discretionary bursary. So you could be eligible for a discretionary bursary if you need financial help, but do not qualify for a bursary for students in vulnerable groups. Each college has their own criteria for discretionary bursaries, so you may see differences across colleges. They'll look at your individual circumstances, and this usually includes your family income. If you're over 19 and either continuing on a course that you started age 16 to 18, known as being a 19 plus continua, or have an education, health and care plan, also known as an EHCP, you would also be eligible to apply for this discretionary bursary. So for the eligibility for the discretionary bursary, the household income has a threshold, and this includes benefits received. So for eligibility, at the moment, it's 28,000 per year is the threshold to be eligible for this bursary. This is subject to change at the discretion of the college. This could increase or it changes. So please keep an eye on our website on our bursary page for the most up-to-date information. This will be updated before enrollment. If you're employed, and again, this is household, so this is parents, guardians, carers. this looks at their universal credit statements and their employment and self-employment. So this is included in the calculation. And if rent is deducted from universal credit, this is also included in the calculation. So, for example, per month, if there was a £1,000 earned income plus £1,000 universal credits received, and universal credits were paying £1,000 in rent, that would total of £3,000 per month. You times that by 12 for the year, and that's 36,000 per year household income, including benefits received. So that would be classed as over the threshold of 28,000 per year. So available support through bursary. So your bursary allowance can support with travel costs. This is train and or bus fare. So this is calculated based on home address to campus. For ages 16 to 17, this also includes a one-off payment to purchase the 16 to 17 saver card, and the amount is calculated using this discounted fare. So when they age out of the 16 to 17 saver card, we would provide the total amount of the fare. There is a 16 to 25 rail card. However, this unfortunately doesn't cover peak times, which is when they would be traveling to college. So we don't include that as the discounted fare. We just cover it as if it's a full fare. They can purchase the 16 to 25, when they age out of the saver card, for their own personal travel, and that can give them a discount for when they're traveling on the weekends or in the evenings, etc., on their own. But it doesn't help with travel costs to college during this peak time, so we just pay the full fare. Also, bursary helps with required course equipment and kit. So this is calculated based on the equipment and kit checklist provided by the college at enrollment. So this will be available on the website on our enrollment information page. This will go live in the summer so that you'll be able to see what you need to purchase for when they're ready to start their course. Not all courses require equipment and kit to be purchased, so do check this. It can be things such as uniform, boots, for catering, for hair and beauty. They have different kit equipment checklists. So do have a look, and then we will use what's been provided to then allocate that reimbursement. Required course books. So this is often more for the 19 plus, but if there are specific course books that the course requires you to purchase, we'll need a digital receipt or a scanned paper copy, and that will need to be provided as evidence to reimburse for. And also this can help with trips. So we would need the letter sent from the department detailing the cost of the trip, and that would need to be provided as evidence after they've attended the trip, and then we would reimburse for it. Free school meals. So students are eligible for free school meals at college if they live in a household whose earned income is under £7,400. Now, this doesn't include benefits received. So this is only this evidence is the earned income. So that's the eligibility for free school meals. If they received free school meals last year and the circumstance has not drastically changed, then you're still eligible. Or if you can evidence a letter of eligibility from either the previous provider or the government scheme, which you can find online. So at the college, students will receive £4 per day that they are in college, and they can use this via their student ID card at our Weybridge campus, or it's via bank account at Ashford. This is because we don't have a canteen at Ashford campus, so they would need to purchase lunch either in town during their lunch break or beforehand. So we give it like their train fare. We would go into their bank account so that they can use this prior to college. But at Weybridge, we have our canteen, our cafe, and they can use their student ID card to tap at the till to pay. So that £4 per day. It must be used during the same day so it doesn't roll over. So say if they use £3.50 on the Tuesday, they then back in on a Wednesday, they wouldn't have £4.50. That 50p would be just that would go, and you'd have the £4 reset for that next day. This is also subject to change at the discretion of the college. So the government provides a certain amount towards this, and then the college top this up. So this could also change next year. So please, again, keep an eye on the website and communications around this, as they may receive more. But at the moment, it is £4 per day. So, how to apply for our bursary and when to apply for it. So, how to access our bursary application. So, it's all online. So, you go to brooklands.ac.uk, and then you go to College Life, Financial Support, and then on that page, there's the bright big pink button that says apply online. It's also mobile friendly, so you can apply via mobile device. And when to apply. So once you know where you'll be studying or training, apply then, so you can get your bursary as soon as possible. The earlier that we have all the information and the evidence provided, the earlier we can assess, and the quicker we can get this ready for you. It's important to do it as soon as possible before the academic year starts. I'll go into sort of when things start and everything, because we get a lot of applications for bursary. It takes some time to assess them all, and we want to make sure that we assess them as soon as possible for you, so that it's ready at the very start of term. If we don't have the evidence that we need and everything set up ready, which I'll go through with you, if we don't have that ready to assess, it will take longer, and we'll be contacting you to let you know what we're missing, and it may not be ready for the start of term if we don't have it in advance. Also, really important to note that you need to reapply for a bursary each year of your course. So if you're starting with us on level 2 and then you're moving on to progressing to level 3 the year after, you will need to reapply that summer for your bursary for level 3. So, a checklist before you apply. So these are the few things that you'll need if they're relevant to you for when you're applying. So the first thing is proof of household income. So depending on your situation and how you're receiving household income, you'll need evidence to provide. So this is most often most recent 3 months full universal credit statements in PDF format, and I'll go through that later on as well. And 3 months pay slips or a self-assessment form if you're self-employed. We can't accept screenshots, so they need to either be scanned in or provided as a digital version. If you don't have a scanner at home, that's absolutely fine. You can bring them with you at enrollment. We can scan them in for you, and there's always a way to support. If you don't have access to a digital way of downloading these or sending them to us, we're always here to help. So just let them know at enrollment. Supporting documents. So again, these are dependent on situation, so they may not be relevant for everyone. If you don't have them, if they're not relevant to you, don't worry. But if they are, you would need your proof of care status. So that can be a letter from your social worker or local authority, the PIP or DLA letter in the student's name, if relevant, and also the free school meal certificate of eligibility or letter from previous provider. Important to know that the bursary application covers both the bursary fund and free school meal. So say, for example, you're not looking for travel costs, but you just want free school meals, you would have to fill in the same application form and just stipulate what financial support you're looking for. Another really important thing to have prepared ahead of time is a bank account in the student's name. So how we provide travel costs is through fortnightly BACS payments into a bank account, which reimburses for equipment, kit, trips where required. So you may not use that account to pay for the items up front, but it has to go into the student's name. So the account holder must match the student's name, and it has to be set up prior to application. So if you put, when you apply and you put bank details in and it's not the student's details, we will contact you and ask for that bank account to be set up ready. So I thought it'd be useful to include this is how to download universal credit statements in PDF format. Please feel free to take a photo or screenshot of this for later. It'll also be on on the application form as a reminder. But this is just how to download those statements in PDF format. So you log into your universal credit account, go to the statement summary page, click on the most recent statement, select the option to print to PDF or save as PDF. You can do this on your phone or a desktop device. Save it to the device you're using and then repeat for the three most recent months. That's important to know. It's not just one statement, it's the three most recent ones when you're applying. So say if you're applying in August, that would be oh, where's my so May, June, July, trying to get the months right there. So it'd be the most recent ones that you have available. If you're applying, you haven't got August through yet, don't worry, it's just the three most recent that you have. Once saved to your device, please upload them as evidence to your bursary application. So it's quite useful to do this ahead of time so that you have them ready and then you can just attach them. You can upload them to the online application. So allocation and attendance. This just talks about how we provide the bursary in what format and the attendance policy. So bursary for travel costs are paid currently on a fortnightly basis. This doesn't include holidays and half terms. So we'll provide a payment schedule for you once the application has been approved, and it'll outline in the email which dates you'll be receiving the payments. So it's usually every fortnight, but then taking away holidays and half terms. This is subject to change. It could move to weekly. We're exploring this in the future, but at the moment, as it stands this academic year, it's fortnightly. And this again will usually start from the second week of term one. This is subject to change as well. It may start from the first week of term one. Um, and then bursary is a reimbursement for the previous fortnight. So you would travel for 2 weeks, and then with that, the end of those 2 weeks, we would reimburse you for that travel, and then so on. If attendance drops below 50%, the upcoming bursary payment will be cancelled as it will be considered unused. So, you haven't been attending college, therefore you haven't been using the current bursary, like the money that you have, therefore it's cancelled because you haven't been traveling to college those 2 weeks. It will be reinstated for the next payment date if attendance increases to 50% or above. So essentially, attendance is just a really important factor. So we want you to come to college 100% of the time, and we will provide bursary to support that. But if it drops below 50%, we do cancel it as you're not using it. If you choose to withdraw from the college at any point, your bursary will be cancelled entirely. So once you stop coming to the college, you stop receiving bursary payments. Okay, so this part of the webinar is about our adult courses, including funding and fee remission. So it's just 3 slides talking about our adult um, bursary, and then we'll move on to the frequently asked questions of it and the Q&A. So 19 plus learners can also apply for a bursary. The same eligibility criteria for the discretionary bursary applies here, and it will be based on your household income and residency criteria. So it's not for the same fund, but it is the same eligibility criteria. So if your course is designated as government funded and you meet one of the criteria below, you may be eligible for full fee remissions. This means that your course would be free. If you are unemployed and in receipt of a means tested benefit, if you're employed and in receipt of other state benefit, universal credit, and earn either less than the minimum wage a week or take home £892 a month individual claim or £1,437 a month joint couple claim, or if you're employed and on a low annual gross income of less than £25,000. It's important to note that not all courses are government funded and therefore eligible for fee remission. We do carry out a fee assessment to ensure we can offer any reduced fees wherever possible. So even if it isn't a funded one, we can look at streams and see if we can support financially. And again, if you are a 19 plus learner and you're applying for bursary, please bring your benefit statements and everything with you to enrollment so that we can carry out that fee assessment. And it's also important to know that fee remission, so for your course, is separate to bursary applications. So bursary helps you with travel costs and equipment and kit and books, and you would apply this the same way through our online platform. However, your bursary isn't used to cover the cost of your course. That is separate. Residency criteria for adult learning. So, to study, you will need to have been a UK resident for at least 3 years prior to the start date of your course. So, documents to evidence 3 year residency or exemption, you need one of the below required. So, passport, driving license, a biometric residence permit or BRP card that either states Ukraine scheme, Afghan scheme, or ALES or ARCS. They are exempt from the 3 year rule. So, if you have exemption, bring that card. Um, or a BRP card that states leave to enter slash remain, and then you must prove your 3 year residency if your BRP card states that. And a visa with date of issue from 3 years ago, or a utility bill bank statement dating back 3 years ago. Again, when enrolling onto a course, please ensure you have the evidence required to complete your enrollment. It's important to have everything there with you. It makes the process much smoother and much faster for you. So there's an advanced learner loan for adult learners. So the advanced learner loan is there to help learners aged 19 and over to cover the cost of course fees. So again, this is specifically for the course, not travel or equipment books. And this is for a level 3, 4, 5, and 6 college or training course. The loan application will last for the duration of the course. So if it's a 2, 3 year course, there's no need to reapply for this one if it's longer than a year. You're eligible if you're 19 or above at the start of your course, and if you've been a resident in the UK and studying an eligible level 3, 4, 5, or 6 course. So again, it needs to be an eligible course for this advanced learner loan. So how do you apply? Check with the college first that your course qualifies for this advanced learner loan. So our admissions team will be able to tell you that. Ask for a learning and funding information letter. You need this to complete the application, which is separate to the college. So this is through the government student finance scheme. So you wouldn't apply for this using our bursary application or anything through the college. It is through the government scheme. So you'll need to register first, and then you can apply by post if you can't apply online. You'll get a letter confirming your loan, usually within 2 weeks of application. Post applications can take longer, but again, this is through the government scheme. Okay, so that's everything. Um, are there any questions? So a question, can parents take in proof needed to the office at the college instead of the student? So as in from now onwards, so you can bring in evidence in person to the college if you are unable to upload them to the online application. That's absolutely fine. If you don't have digital access or it's technology isn't your thing, that is absolutely fine. We can go through it with you and we can help you. We can scan any documents you have. They'll need to be the full paper form. So again, it can't just be the front page of your universal credit statement, for example. It has to be the whole statement and 3-month statements, for example. So everything I've stipulated in the webinar and that's on our website, bring that in with you, and we can go through and apply together. During August enrollment, our bursary team will be there, so you can apply, when you're there on the day, and someone can sit and go through it with you, and we can scan in any evidence. That is absolutely fine. We're always here and happy to help. Okay, no more questions. I'll wrap it up here. Thank you so much to everyone for joining this evening. I hope you found this informative and useful. Like I said, any other questions or queries, email bursary@brooklands.ac.uk or give us a phone call. The number's on the website. We're always here to help. Thank you so much.